in today's video, like I said, we're going to go over 33 and 333, but there are so many ways you can use angel numbers in your daily life. But in case you're brand new to this series and you haven't seen my other videos on these, which by the way, I have an introduction to angel numbers I encourage you checking out. I have one on 1111 and 111, and I have one on 222. Coming soon will be more numbers going up, 444, 555, and so on. But we're starting with 333. I wanted to go in order because that's what I was called to do. And I really feel like the numbers build on each other as well. But just a quick recap in case this is the first video you're coming across. These will all be in a playlist or are in a playlist for you to go watch as many times as you want. But a quick recap on what are angel numbers. Angel numbers are repeated sequences. They carry divine guidance and they appear to us in everyday places. Things that you would normally ignore, but the clock, your receipts, license plates, serial numbers on things, all kinds of ways, addresses. So we want to stop and pay attention when we are seeing repeating sequences. These do have messages for you. Now, a lot of times they have very specific messages, and other times they're guiding you to pause and see what other messages are coming through for you. Now here we're going to go into some of the meanings for 333 and 333 that are common. If you were to go Google them online or go watch other videos, you would see similar meanings. However, I have special meanings I want to share with you after I sat down with my spiritual team, which by the way, your spiritual team is your guardian angels, passed away loved ones, spirit guides, and other ascended masters and archangels we may request to work with or who might be requesting to work with us. And so when you see these messages, you want to pause and ask about that. And you might think about what are the common meanings. But like I said, I sat down with my spiritual team and I asked them, well, when you and I communicate about 33 and 333, is there anything else you want me to know? I'm going to be sharing those with you today. That's one of the things that's going to be different about this. Plus, again, I'm offering that bonus message at the end. So make sure you grab that journal if any of this interests you so you can take down these meanings. But of course, feel free to come back as often as you want to check on these meanings and check in to see what resonates for you. I always track when I get these numbers, so that's one of the reasons it was easy for me to begin understanding the way my spiritual team was using numbers. But then I also did use automatic writing to connect the dots. We'll go a little bit deeper into some tips and tools on how you can do that, but first let's go over some of these meanings that we see a lot. One of the most common reasons to see 333 is there are ascended masters wanting to work with you. Now, what are ascended masters? There are a lot of ascended masters out there, and you may have ones you're already working with. Some of the most common ones are Jesus or Yeshua and Buddha and figures like that have a lot of popularity throughout the religious world and across the world, but there are other ascended masters that you may not be familiar with. And so one little tip here you might want to do is consider getting a card deck of ascended masters and learning how to use it and just picking one every day and learning about different ascended masters. Then whenever you feel like you might have this symbol, this 33 or 333 coming through, suggesting that you work with an ascended master, you might be able to understand the energy a little bit more quickly if you have a deeper knowledge about some of the more common ascended masters. Now, we see threes a lot everywhere, especially in the Holy Bible. It's the Father, Son, Holy Ghost, right? The Trinity. But there's also, when you're putting those numbers together, you're really adding in this mastery over divine wisdom and divine knowledge, which is something that we saw with Yeshua, Jesus as well. So let's keep going into some of the common meanings here, and then I'll get into some more experiences I've had and the meaning for me, and maybe they relate to what you have. When you encounter 333, it's a powerful reminder that the universe and higher beings are approving and supporting your thoughts and actions. So I'm going to give you a tip here right now. Make sure you are pausing when you see 33 or 333 and asking yourself, what was I just thinking about? What was I just doing? Now, 333 and 33 have a lot of historical and spiritual context. I'll let you dive deeper into that if you want to, but know that this is a deeply connected number to spiritual awakening, encouragement, and a need for self-expression. We're always being encouraged to do that. For me personally, when I see 33, I tend to immediately think of Jesus. Some say Yeshua. I say Jesus. That's the way I was raised. But I know that Jesus is asking me to pause and see what message is coming through from him. I'm working with him on a daily basis. And I'm working to understand the way he mastered a lot of this creativity. He mastered self-sacrifice. He mastered really sharing amazing spiritual wisdom, right? And so this might be an opportunity for you to begin sharing spiritual wisdom, but we'll go into more ideas about what 333 and 33 could mean for you. I wanted to share with you a fun story about where I was in the process of starting my new business to become a full-time angel intuitive and spiritual teacher. And I've dabbled in this story a teeny bit in past videos, but this part I didn't share with you. When I was going throughout the process of planning, starting my business, creating a name for it, getting a website going, I would see 33 all day long. And you think about there's 60 minutes in every hour and 24 hours in a day. And I cannot tell you how often I would glance at the clock and I would glance at 2:33. And then I'd just go about my day and I'd look up and it would say 3:33. And then I'd be doing something else and something would make me look up 4:33. Okay, so the 33 in there was repeating there. And I knew that I was being encouraged to keep going with my thought process, keep going with my creativity, and that divine help was helpful to me and available to me is what I was trying to say there. So I tried to apply it practically. I tried to really pause and go, okay, what was I just doing? What was I just saying or thinking? One of the things that happened to me that was really amazing, because I did begin to correlate 33 with working with the Ascended Master Jesus for me, is when I met a woman in a veterinarian clinic. I had taken my dog in to get treatment for his allergies, and she was sitting in the lobby when we came out from seeing the veterinarian, and he went right up to her and started wagging his tail and saying hello like it was a long lost friend. Well, this woman looked up to me and said, "What a sweet puppy. What's his name?" And of course, he wasn't a puppy at this point. He was already 15, but he was a puppy to me. And she said, "Oh, he's just so lovely." And I said, "Oh, thank you." And we just chatted for a minute. And she goes, "Here, I created this card and I give them to people I meet that feel like they need them." And she looked up at me with these beautiful crystal blue eyes and said, "Here you go," and handed the card to me. And I said, "Oh, how lovely. Thank you." She goes, "Well, I just make them up on my own." And I was like, "Well, thank you so much." So we said our goodbyes and we trotted off happily. I'm not sure I would have ever looked over or gone to speak to her if my dog Tucker had not gone over to her on his own volition. We drive home, I sit down, I start unpacking things at my desk, and I pull out this card and I start looking at it. And it says on there, "You are a divine appointment." And I thought, is this like an advertisement for a church? Like, or is there a Bible verse on here? And then I flipped it over and it just went into, I made this card for you because especially for you. And I started thinking about what does that mean to be a divine appointment? And I remember the way that Jesus worked as a divine appointment. And then I remembered how my grandmother would always say, "What is dog spelled backwards?" And then I looked at the clock and saw 2:33 and thought, I'm supposed to work more closely with Jesus. And I cannot tell you the angel bumps that shook my body. I was in the chair and the chair shook. That was Jesus stepping in more closely, and it was me connecting the dots. What's even better is when I went back to review my journal a few months later, I had put all this entry in there about what the lady looked like, about what happened, about how the conversation just seemed to come out of nowhere. There was no way to get a hold of this lady on that card. There was no mention of a church or an email or anything. It was purely just a message. And I went back and reviewed some automatic writing I had done about a visualization I did with a spirit guide. And it turns out that one of the guardian angels that I had asked to connect with had the exact same white hair and crystal blue eyes that this woman had. It is my belief that was an angel incarnated momentarily to help me stay on my path and give me an energetic boost. boost. And I really, really believe this because time and time again, I have had these things happen that are undeniable. And I still have that card, by the way. So for me personally, when I was looking at 233, I talked about 222 in my previous video. So if you want to check that out about understanding the number 2 or 22 a little bit more. But it really was me opening up to the idea that I am a divine appointment. And guess what? You're a divine appointment too. That's why you're here listening to this. That's why you felt called to click on this video. So let's go more into some of these meanings here, and then we'll definitely get to that bonus message for you. But just know that you're being asked to take these concrete steps towards spiritual learning and growth. So you might be asked to take on more spiritual practices in your daily routine when you're seeing 33. Have you ever considered adding yoga or meditation or some other kind of spiritual tool and technique to help you grow? That's something that you might be encouraged to do. And I'd love to hear in the comments, when you see 33 or 33, what does it mean to you if you've already had this experience a lot? Have you had an experience similar to me? I'd really love to hear that in the comments. And we will be going into 444 next. So I do believe these build on each other. Feel free to let me know what your experiences have been, and we can compare notes. All right, now let's go into the meaning that the angels specifically said to me about 33 and 333. But a quick reminder here, if you haven't already, you can sign up for my free newsletter at devindoer.com to get a gift from me. It's my ebook, Is It a Sign? How to Recognize Signs and Discover Their Meaning. It's a really valuable tool to help you get started on tracking your intuition, tracking the way you're receiving signs. Also, I do have so many different videos I offer on my YouTube channel. I have some classes coming up. I have just many different offerings. So by signing up for my free newsletter, you will also be aware anytime I go live on my channel to answer your questions, which I do twice a week at the time I'm recording this video. And then also, any other new things that I have coming up, like new videos like this, when I upload a new angel number series or something else. I have many story times on there, including an occasion when I was 19 and I saw angels standing around my bed. So if you're new to my channel, I encourage you to check that out, because it might be that you've had similar experiences. And that was one of my goals in creating this channel, was to share these experiences and see how they correlate with you. And it turns out many, many people all over the world have been having similar experiences. And we finally have this gift of being able to connect to each other in this way and compare these experiences and feel validated in our connection with our angels. All right, so let's go into when I sat down with the angels and just tracking it over time. Again, like I said, 33 does represent working with Jesus, but for most people, it's any ascended master that you feel called to. So when I see 33, the angels are asking me, what beliefs are empowering you? That's what they want me to ask. What beliefs do I have are empowering me? Well, definitely my belief in Jesus. Working with Jesus from a very young age. I was raised in a loving Christian home. I know not everybody had that experience, but I was very blessed that I was able to experience Christianity in a loving way and get to know Jesus one day at a time in my own way. And they're also wanting me to remember that they're asking me the question, do you really believe in your ability to manifest your heart's wishes? Because sometimes we say, okay, my heart wants this, or I wish for that, but we don't always believe that we can actually do it. But you can if you ask your spiritual team and you ask them, okay, what are you trying to show me here? So definitely think about what beliefs are empowering you when you see 33, and then notice any ascended master that you might feel called to work with on a closer level. Like I said, grab an oracle deck or go online and just watch some videos about different ascended masters and see what resonates with you, because different ascended masters may be offering to work with us at different times. Now, my angel said that when I see 333, it means master the art of believing in yourself and your ability to manifest your greatest desires. So they are affirming the 33, but they said that when you master it, okay, that's why it comes down to working with ascended masters, because they have mastered their spiritual talents and gifts and spiritual wisdom. Then they say you will see this divine path open and your life purpose open before you. Remember, we have many life purposes, but we have to actually take action in believing in our ability to step into that power And we don't want to wait around for that to happen to us. We want to believe in it and we want to take action. And that may mean doing some more spiritual learning. So before we jump into the journaling prompt here, make sure you're hitting that subscribe button and sharing this video if it resonates with you. I really appreciate it. And if you haven't already, hit that subscribe button. Did I just say subscribe? I meant to say like button. But you can do that, and then you can get notified when I upload new videos about angel numbers, or I also offer weekly angel messages for you. And I also go live to answer questions. So if you are watching this video and you still have questions about angel numbers or 33 or 333, you can always join a live. You can also put your questions in the comments below this video or other videos. I love hearing from you. Thank you to my subscribers for always being here. It means so much to me. And I read every one of your comments. I may not always have a chance to reply or reply immediately. I do try to reply to everyone, but I do read them and I will take note of any questions that come up for you. All right, so grab that journal if you have it close by. I have a journaling prompt for you. Every time you see 333, you can use this over and over and over again. If you don't have your journal with you, feel free to come back and listen again, or write this in your phone and then put it in your journal. The journaling prompt for 333 is, what ascended master am I feeling called to work with in my life right now? What ascended master am I feeling called to work with in my life right now? Then the follow-up journaling prompt is, how is this ascending master making their presence known to me? How is this ascended master making their presence known to me? So that was the story that I shared with you about the lady in the veterinarian office. You know, my grandmother always would tell me, what is dog spelled backwards? When I started connecting the dot, Tucker is the reason that my dog Tucker was the reason I was at that clinic at that moment. Then he on his own walks over to what I found out later was a guardian angel of mine, who then gives me a card talking about working with Jesus and being a divine appointment with no advertising, nothing else on it other than this very, very clear physical message. Then I get home and I have the massive angel bumps when I see 33 and I connect all the dots. So that's how I realized, okay, when I see 33, that is definitely something that Jesus is wanting to work with me. And a fun little side note on that is 33 has always been one of my favorite numbers, 3 and 33. I never could explain why. I just always loved the number 33. And my husband heard me say it so many times that when he proposed to me, he actually found a wedding band with 33 stones in it. So it's definitely was very affirming for me. All right, we have a pocket affirmation for you every time you see 333 before we get to that bonus message. Write this pocket affirmation in the comments below if you feel called to. That way I know you made it to the end of this video. It really helps me. The 333 affirmation to say is, I am open to higher spiritual learning. I am open to higher spiritual learning. So this might mean there's a new ascended master that is waiting to work with you that maybe you would have never considered because it's from a religion you've never been exposed to. But say you're open to it and look for those loud and clear signs. And of course, you can use that for 33 too. I just didn't want to overwhelm you with pocket affirmations. But if you don't mind writing that in the comments below this video, I am open to higher spiritual learning. Okay, we're going to get to this bonus message that you've waited so patiently for at the end of this video. And don't forget that in the next video, I'm going to be going over 444 and I will be having many other videos. If you haven't already checked them out, I do have other videos on my channel that can help you develop your intuitive abilities and help you deepen your connection with the angels. So check that out if you feel called to. And here is your bonus message for this video. And you can apply this to anything in your life, but you were called to come and hear this message at this point in time. Bonus message is, the time to really focus on your ambitions is right now. Seek advice from someone creative to increase your motivation and vision. Let me say that one more time. The time to really focus on your ambition is right now. Seek advice from someone creative to increase your motivation and vision. And that someone just might be an ascended master. Thanks for being here, everybody. Remember, take time every day to connect with the angels.